Hi everybody, and welcome back to another Krochets tutorial. Today we're going to learn how to make this trash bag holder, but if you'd rather have the written instructions, they are in the link below in my Etsy shop, as well as some other great patterns. There's also a great tutorial for crocheting in the round for beginners, so check those out, but let's go ahead and see what we need to get started. Alrighty, so you're going to need a pair of scissors, a blunt threading needle, an 8mm crochet hook, a ponytail or a thick rubber band, and Bernat Marker home decor yarn. So let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and grab your hook and your yarn and start off by making a slip knot. And again, guys, if you don't know how to make a slip knot or how to single crochet or the basics, go ahead and click that link below and learn those and then come back. And then go ahead and grab your ponytail or your rubber band. And here we're going to start off by going into the ponytail like this. So I'm going to show you again. You can go in the circle, grabbing the working yarn, yarning over, and pulling that through. You're then going to pull it straight through the hoop on your hook and chain 1. You will then place 18 single crochets around the ponytail. So you're going to go into the ponytail, yarning over, bringing that back up, yarning over, pulling through 2 to make 1 single crochet. And again, go ahead and do that 17 more times for a total of 18 single crochets. And I'll meet you at the end of round 1. (16, 17, and 18. Okay, so go ahead and make sure that you have a total of 18 stitches. And once you do that, you will then slip stitch into the very first single crochet to finish off round 1. You will then chain 1, and for round 2, you're just going to place 2 single crochets in every stitch around for a total of 36 stitches. And I will meet you at the end of round 2. Coming up on the end of round 2, I'm just going to place 2 single crochets in the last stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch into the very first stitch. And I'm going to chain 1 to begin round 3. And for round 3, you're just going to place 1 single crochet in every stitch around for a total of 36 stitches. And I will meet you at the end of this round. Coming up on the end of round 3, I'm just placing my last single crochet and then slip stitching into the very first single crochet like before. And then you're going to chain 1 to begin round 4. And rounds 4 through 10 are the exact same as last round. You are just going to place 1 single crochet in every stitch around again until round 10. And I will meet you at the end of round 10. So I'm at the end of round 10. I'm placing my last single crochet and then slip stitching into the very first one like before. And then you're going to chain 4. And this chain 4 counts as 1 double crochet in a chain 1. You will then skip 1 stitch below and place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, then skip a stitch below and place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And that is the repeating pattern around. So again, chain 1, skip a stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And I will meet you at the end. I'm at the end of round 11, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain to finish this round. And go ahead and chain 4 again for round 12. And instead of skipping a stitch this time, you are just going to skip a chain 1 space. So do the exact same thing. You're going to chain 1, skip a chain 1 space, double crochet into the next stitch, which is a double crochet below as well. So you're going to do that all the way around, and I will meet you at the end of this round. Coming up on the end to round 12, where you're going to end with a chain 1 and then slip stitch into the 3rd chain to finish that round. You will then repeat that round for round 13. So start off by chaining 4, skipping the first chain 1 and placing a double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space below and double crochet into the next stitch. All right, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. At the end of round 13, again, you're ending with a chain 1 and slip stitching into the 3rd chain. To begin round 14, you're going to chain 1 and place 1 single crochet in each stitch slash chain 1 space around. So the chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so go ahead and place a single crochet right below the chain 1. 1 single crochet in the chain 1 space, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And again, you'll have a total of 36 single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. At the end of round 14, you're going to place the last single crochet in the chain 1 space and then slip stitch into the very first single crochet. For rounds 15 through 21, you're just going to chain 1 and place 1 single crochet in every stitch around for a total of 36 stitches. So that's 7 more rows of just single crochets. So I will meet you at the end of round 21. At the end of round 21, your last stitch should be a single crochet, and then you're going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet like you have been doing. And now you are going to be doing those open squares that you did down below. Again, the exact same thing. So again, we're repeating that just up here. So I'm going to go over that really quickly just because you have already done it. So chain 4 and skip a stitch and place a double crochet into the next stitch, and the repeating pattern is chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next stitch all the way around, and then slip stitching into the 3rd chain to finish the round. You're going to do that for 3 rounds, and I will meet you at the end of round 24. So I'll see you soon. At the end of round 24, I'm just going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain like you have been doing. And for rounds 25 through 33, you're just going to chain 1 and place 1 single crochet in each stitch around, just like you did below. You're repeating that portion again. So again, that's 8 rounds of just single crochets, a total of 36 stitches. So I will meet you at the end of round 33. At the end of round 33, I'm just going to finish this round, and you're done with the bottom portion of your bag holder. So go ahead and cut your working yarn, and we will move on to creating the top. And you don't have to have a top on your bag holder, but I do prefer the look of it, and I just stick my bags through the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that. Alrighty, so grab a new strand of working yarn and start by creating a magic circle. You're then going to chain 1 and place 9 single crochets into your magic circle. Eight, 9. Okay, so it should look like this, a little lopsided, but that's okay. Pull your end strand tight and close that loop, and then slip stitch into the very first single crochet to finish round 1. All right, for round 2, go ahead and chain 1 and place 2 single crochets in each stitch around for a total of 18 stitches. And I will meet you at the end of round 2. At the end of round 2, I'm just placing my last stitch and then slip stitching into the very first single crochet. To begin round 3, you're going to chain 1, place 1 single crochet in the very first stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And guys, that's it. So that's the repeating pattern. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 3. At the end of round 3, you're finishing with an increase in the last stitch and then chain or slip stitching into the very first single crochet. You should have a total of 27 stitches at this point. And to begin round 4, you're going to chain 1. And you're going to place 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And that's the repeating pattern. 1 stitch, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. I hope that gets stuck in your head. So I'll meet you at the end of round 4. All right, at the end, you're just finishing with an increase and then slip stitching. And that is it for your top portion. You're gonna go ahead and chain 1 to finish that off. You now have 36 stitches. And we're gonna go ahead and grab the base and slip stitch this on to finish everything off. Okay, so find your seam on the base, and your seam is obviously right there on the top piece. Go through the very first stitch of the top, like this, and grab the base, and only go through the back loop of the first stitch on the base, and then slip stitch that together. So yarn over and pull through, and again pull through the loop on your hook as well to slip stitch. Okay, so let's go to the next stitch. You're going to go through both loops on the top portion, but only the back loop on the bottom portion, like that. And then again, slip stitching that on. I'm going to show you one more time. So go to the next stitch of your top portion and the back loop only of the bottom portion. And if you're having a hard time with that, don't worry about it. You can just single crochet or slip stitch all of the way around through both stitches. I just like the way it looks better. So here's one that's already finished. As you can see, I didn't want it to make a cone at the top, so I did this. So anyways, continue that around and I'll meet you at the end of that round. Okay, I'm on my very last stitch of seaming these together, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, and I will then chain 15 to start making the handle. Okay, and after chaining 15, or your personal preference amount, you're going to count 18 stitches over to get right in the center of the other side. You're then going to slip stitch your chain on. So grab your working yarn and slip stitch that on, and chain 1 to finish off, and just cut your yarn. And after you weave in your ends, you are done. You did fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for following along. If you would like to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, my links are below, as well again as my Etsy shop where there's other great patterns and this pattern. So anyways, let me know if you liked the tutorial, or let me know what I could have done better. But again, thank you and happy making.